Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2019 Contrà Soarda Terra Veneto Rosso. This is a blend of Marzemino Nero and Merlot coming from the Veneto region of northern Italy, and is a really special wine for a couple of reasons. So we'll start with Contrà Soarda. So Vignaioli Contrà Soarda was started by Mirko and Gloria Gottardi in 1999. Their families had worked in restaurants. They were both passionate about wine, and they decided to pursue that passion by acquiring a piece of property in San Michele of Bassano del Grappa, which is kind of in the pre-Alps near the Valsugana Valley, kind of leading towards the Alps in northern Veneto. It was an abandoned property. They needed to work to kind of revitalize everything. And from the very beginning, they always had a very strong lean towards sustainability, organic viticulture, and making sure that they were taking care of the land, and then the land would be able to take care of them. So great, they established this incredible forward thinking organic certified winery, and they actually went way above and beyond what's required for organic certification in the EU. They have donkeys on the property to help with crops and weeds. They don't do any herbicides. They do all mechanical weeding underneath the vines. They have cover crops. They make their own compost. It's an incredible project, but they weren't satisfied. So they partnered with an environmental startup for the Terra called Carbon Jacked. So Carbon Jacked came and did a full carbon footprint analysis of the production of the winery, what they needed to do, what they could do, where they could make changes to reduce the overall carbon footprint of their wine production. That led to then the production of Terra, which is Europe's first and probably the world's first, I don't know that for sure, but they say Europe's first carbon negative wine. So they actually sequester or take in twice as the amount of carbon that's produced through the production of Terra. So a lot of that's in the actual like management, organic practices, and what they do in the winery, the way that it's packaged. They're using lighter glass. They're using recycled paper for the label. The capsule is natural cork and beeswax rather than plastic or metal that needs to be made. The fruits all coming from a single vineyard site, east facing, that's right kind of exposed to the kind of entrance to the Valsugana Valley. So it gets this beautiful cool air coming out of the Alps to help regulate the temperature. The actual production facility is all a gravity fed, like sustainable winery. So there's no pumps or anything. They take everything from the top of the winery and it comes down. They have then decided that that wasn't enough, and then they're buying carbon credits and supporting UN projects, independently verified carbon credits that support, like I said, UN Sustainable Climate Goals projects. I think mostly in Africa, including like solar cooking and things like that. So, when I first discovered this wine, I was like, I have never heard or seen a winery go to the incredible lengths that Contrà Soarda is going to reduce their impact, and hopefully they're not the last ones. They are definitely kind of leading the charge right now in this sustainability movement, and even like more so than just sustainable, but like revitalization. So really impressive, really neat. And that would all be for naught if the wine wasn't delicious, but it also is. So like I said, this is a blend of Marzemino Nero and Merlot. Marzemino Nero is a indigenous northern Italian variety, which you can find in Friuli and Trentino and the Veneto, and blended with Merlot, which, although it is an international variety, they say that it expresses the terroir of San Michele de Bassano very, very well. And I agree. I think that this wine has a lot of character. It's really like vibrant red fruited. Marzemino Nero can be kind of light and acidic, but it does have a really beautiful plush red fruit character, which blends really well with Merlot, because Merlot can be a little bit rounded and creamier and richer, but has a similar fruit profile. So this is lots of ripe red cherry, raspberry, wild strawberry, red plum. There's like kind of, I can't remember what they're called, but like the swirly strawberries and cream candies. It has like a little bit of that kind of candied red fruit character, which I really like in this wine. I think that it adds a nice layer of intensity of fruit. After those grapes are picked and brought to the winery, they are vinified separately. So they keep the Marzemino Nero and the Merlot separate, ferment according to their needs, and then the Marzemino Nero goes into a single 2,000 liter tank, and the Merlot goes into a mix of first and second fill French oak for 18 months. They age both for 18 months, and then they're blended for 6 months to let them kind of come together before being bottled for sale. So this wine spends 2 years at the winery, just kind of coming together, as it were, and really coming into its own. And at this point, it is delicious. It's integrated. It's flavorful. It's complex, balanced, refreshing, fruit driven, but not overtly so. Has a great expression of mineral, earthy character to it as well. Yeah, and just kind of just straight up delicious. Really easy to drink. The tannins are subtle. They're present, but they're quite soft, quite gentle, silky tannins that are not overwhelming in any kind of sense. There is still acidity and freshness, but again, it is mild. It's controlled. It's not overly tart. Really well balanced with the intensity of the fruit. There is a lot of potential food wise for this, but I think being casual about it is really going to benefit this wine, whether it's just like take to a housewarming party and like share it with as many people as possible to kind of like introduce people to something different, something pretty impactful on a even a micro scale, but hopefully something that leads to more impactful movements globally. So like I just put together a really tasty charcuterie board, have sliders, pulled pork sandwiches. I kind of like something that has a little bit of kind of sweetness. So I like doing pulled pork and adding a little bit of orange juice to my pulled pork when I'm making like tacos or sliders, because you get this zip, this fruitiness that comes from the fruit. Yeah, this isn't calling out for a big steak or ribs or anything like that. It's a little bit more subtle than that. You could do pizza night. You could do pasta. You can do vegetable dishes that are a little bit more subtle, like just roasted vegetables with turkey thighs. One of my best friends does really, really good turkey wings. That would be delicious here. There's so much to appreciate in their approach to making this wine that it could be kind of easy to gloss over the fact that it's also delicious and it's really, really fun to drink. It's like one that I want to keep going back to, as evidenced by the fact that there's almost none left in my glass. And I'm really, really, really pleased. I hope that they continue making this wine and that it's not just kind of a one off thing. I know that a lot of the practices that they have implemented in the production of this wine will bleed into their other wines that they produce. But it is really great to see a winery going, like I said, above and beyond what is expected. I think of most wineries, most industries even, I don't think consumers are really expect them to put this much effort in. And I really want to show them that we appreciate it. So I hope you enjoy the Contrà Soarda Terra Veneto Rosso. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all next time.